The name of our video is Tricked Out Tailspin by Exposed Foreheads. I'm Mark GE.
And I'm Alexander Abrahage.
And what's the video about?
Well, the band Exposed Foreheads, which I'm also in, had done this song about sort of a glamour gone bad. I would say like tragiglam is what we called it. Kind of glamour gone bad. I was sort of interested in themes about glamorous women who maybe meet a demise of some sort or live a fairly unstable life. I've been kind of watching a lot of Liz Taylor movies in the 60s and 70s, and that sort of fit. So I wrote the song, and then after we did the song, we wanted to do a video. So Alex and I started having a conversation about, well, how would we depict this song? What would we do? So at that point, we started thinking about different themes, and we came across this idea of, well, at the end of Butterfield 8 with Liz Taylor, there's this sports car that she's driving, and it kind of ends in a crash. And so we were kind of taking off of that idea of her escaping, running away, and what could we do with that? And so that started getting us thinking about a storyboard and what our story would be about this woman who's running away. We don't know what she's running away from. We don't know if she did anything. But what we do know is that she's trying to get out of there. And this is a theme that my wife and I talk about a lot, especially among younger women who have this sort of thought like, I just want to get out of here. I just want to get away from this. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm leaving. And that kind of led us then to thinking about not only all the car scenes and the car shots and the person leaving, but then who would be following them? And that's maybe I can let Alex take over from there in terms of the detective.
Yeah, I had this idea of like, well, what if there's a detective kind of following her? And that would be an interesting element. And then Mark basically said, well, it's a detective, but maybe he's a few steps behind or a lot of steps behind. Maybe he's a slower type of character who's not fully, uh, you know, doing his job at the max that he could. And so there's a humorous element in that we brought, and I got to play the detective, which was fun. And so I helped shoot some of the scenes with the glamorous woman, female character, and then Mark shot the stuff with me, and so it was really fun, though. Yeah.
So that's how you
Yeah,
divided up the directing duties, because Alex probably can't direct himself since he's acting in it. So you directed him, and he directed the female character, huh?
part of it was, I think, thinking about our different film styles and our histories and what we're familiar with. And as you might know, my background is doing a lot of noir sort of stuff. So the detective stuff, we deliberately said that should be lockdown camera, sort of, different angular looks to it, and very slow. Because as Alex was saying, he's not so ambitious. He's kind of lazy, and he's maybe a few steps behind the woman. Um, and then Alex has much more of a style that's quickly edited, and has a lot more action in it. Particularly if you look at like some of his own films, as well as like the video he made for Exposed Forehead's Flash Cube. It's quickly edited and moves pretty quick. So we thought we would kind of separate that. And so Alex had an awful lot more, I would say, input and stylistic input into how the car shots were done. The GoPro is his, that we were using, and he shot mostly all of that. And then I shot a lot of the lockdown motel scenes and the detective scenes, which are pretty much static.
Okay. So was this the first time you two worked together as co-directors? Father and son co-directors?
Is it? Alex, is
I
it?
I don't know. I think we might have co-directed Dances the Krampus, and I don't
Oh yeah.
know. But that was
That's right.
Anthony. But I don't know. Like I don't know
Oh, what
what.
about the Christmas video? We did the sleigh ride video together also. The last couple of years, we've been really working closely on things together. I haven't really been involved other than maybe at times being called in to punch up a script with Alex for some of his own films. But when it's come to Exposed Foreheads music videos, we've been collaborating for a while now, the last couple of years, right? You started by really being like a PA, I think, when you were a kid early on those shoots. And then eventually you just kind of kept stepping it up with more and more. And then eventually you had creative content. You started taking the camera, saying you had ideas and shots that you wanted to do. And I've been more than happy to just kind of step out of the way and let you take over there. So this last one, I would guess, is probably the first one that's really officially, well, I don't know. We've had a few the last few years. It's hard to tell because we work really well together. So we kind of mesh in a way that I don't know anymore if it's like, did you do that? Did I do that? Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely done lots of cinematography on the videos, but yeah, we do kind of cross over where we're maybe co-directing, or I throw an idea here. Oh wait, like in Sleigh Ride. Oh well, what if we got this shot of Andy's hitting the drums and the snow's flying up as he's hitting it, and
Yeah, yeah.
so it's
Right.
kind of a mix of yeah, it's a mix of ideas. But I've definitely done cinematography for their music videos. Yeah.
How many music videos have you done with Exposed Foreheads?
Mm.
You mean the two of us together?
Well,
Exposed Foreheads. I don't
overall.
even know how many music videos we've done. It for the last 12 years, maybe there's been two or three a year. So we've
Oh
done
wow.
quite a few. But the last four or five have really been you and Alex and I working together on those. Especially, I think one of the first ones was I sort of had a deal with Alex. I said, you were back in high school. And we were thinking it's probably about time you get a really souped up laptop so you can edit, because you really had taken off with editing. And so then I thought I'll make a deal with you. I'll like buy you this really hot rod laptop if in exchange you spend the next 4 months working on animation for Dance with the Krampus, and you dug right into it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
You guys really like that 70s vibe. Flash Cube was had a 70s vibe, and this does too.
Yeah, we both were interested in that, but I think Alex really kind of took to the fore with that. Alex had shown me I think it was like a fashion video before we did Flash Cube, which were a number of women running in the street, models running in the street and kind of smashing stuff up. And that was he showed me that and he showed me the style in that, and I was like, oh, that would really work for Flash Cube. So he already had the visual element all worked out for that and kind of went and just did that on his own. The color grading was really important to us too. So Alex, do you want to talk a little bit about the color grading, because you really kind of took the lead on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, as opposed to Flash Cube, which was trying to emulate like a gritty, I would say like Warriors type, look, right? This film, we're doing a different type of like 70s film with this. It's more colorful, and so we really wanted to get that like saturation and to have all the colors, very bright. And so it was a lot with like shooting it on the day and making sure our exposure was right to get that, but it was also, in post bringing up those colors, bringing up the reds especially, for the car and the all the colorful colors. So, but in order to bring those things up, you got to have them there on the day, right? So, it was wardrobe and planning out the aesthetics was Mark's plan, and then I just had to bring those up in post. But yeah.
So what's next for you guys? I know Alex, you have another film, and I'm sure you're doing more Exposed Foreheads videos too.
Yeah, well, I'm still in the running for working on another video with Mark. So like we'll be working on something next, but yeah, right now I'm just I'm working on writing some different ideas, getting some scripts together. It's always, with being in film school, it's like you're always saving your ideas for a class project, right? So Sometimes there's no rush to get it out. It's just, hey, if the right class assignment comes up, I can use this idea for class credit. So, but in the meantime, I've been kind of promoting my new documentary, Ballet Bat, and that's been going well. Basically, it's just to sum it up. If you know the first '89 Batman film with Michael Keaton, the doc kind of revolves around that, and it's about how a lot of those iconic moments that we are kind of just burned into our retina of, Batman on top of a tall skyscraper, or lifting up your wings of the bat. Um, they actually brought in a ballet dancer to do all these movements, and so Michael Keaton wasn't doing that. A ballet dancer was, and so it's kind of it explores the world of the movement double and people who are just hired for their movements, right? And to be an ace at that. So yeah.
And for me, there will be at least another Exposed Foreheads video for this new album that we just put out called Crack the Sky. I don't know which song we're going to pick just yet to do that, but we've been talking about it and trying to get a storyboard and what makes sense. And of course, then that includes sort of a look and who would help us do it, to get where we want to have one kind of that requires quite a extensive costuming. So I'm kind of putting that together and seeing if I can. And then Alex and I really enjoyed the way the Tricked Out Tailspin looks. And we started saying, well, what if we actually made a film with that look? Like that kind of look to it. So it kind of inspired us to start thinking about scripts for something more along those lines.
Have you considered maybe doing a feature and using Exposed Foreheads music as the base music for it?
That's interesting. That's an interesting idea. I hadn't considered that. That's interesting. Um, I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to limit it to that. I mean, that certainly could be a part of it. Um, there's been a few different Exposed Foreheads ideas that are storylines that could take. I mean, you've got me now thinking about Solaris and
Yeah,
that whole look, and Tarkovsky
yeah,
and that look, which is similar in a way to some of what we're doing.
yeah.
So Stalker. So I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it just came to mind because you have films
Yeah,
like Tommy, which is all the Who's music. You have Sergeant Pepper's Only Hearts Band, which is basically all Beatles songs, and stuff like that.
yeah.
Well, great. Thank you both for doing this today, and thank you for sending your film.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for letting us be in it.
Oh, you're welcome.